Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not going to happen. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about, and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. These are cherished people. These are great people. Leave them alone. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast before it's too late. If they don't, there's going to be hell to pay.
So right now, because of his speech and his tweets, everybody is waking up. The ministers have spoken. All the cabinets have spoken. The president have even spoken on the same matter. And hopefully there will be a right action towards this.
Defeat terrorism in this country. The task ahead is immense, but it's our resolve to move forward with unity and purpose, guided by renewed hope agenda to build a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient Nigeria.
This is very serious and is not supposed to be taken lightly. This same thing that is being said today is the same thing that most people has been crying over time and over again.
When it comes to the reactions, I mean,
of course,
President
when it
Tinubu
comes
did
to
say
human
that they were
life,
engaging with the world diplomatically, and that, you know, he vowed to end terrorism. But when it comes to the reactions to that speech here in the U.S., we really haven't seen that many. I mean, it might be due to the fact that the speech or the declaration itself was somewhat wedged into a larger speech about Eurobonds. So, you know, it was just a couple of seconds that the president actually addressed it, as opposed to President Trump, who is, you know, dedicated an entire video to designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. But as far as the big media outlets here, CNN, Fox News that we were talking about yesterday, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and the likes, we really haven't seen them respond to these comments from President Tinubu. We also haven't seen government officials here, President Trump, Ted Cruz, all of the people who've been at the forefront of this conversation, calling this Christian genocide in Nigeria reality. None of them have responded publicly to President Tinubu's speech. And, you know, in terms of thinking about this as a diplomatic situation, it makes me recall an incident from earlier this summer when President Trump was meeting with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other EU leaders, and he literally paused that meeting to go and call President Putin. I mean, that was such a striking moment, and it kind of made me think, is there a chance that President Tinubu and President Trump will speak on the phone? Is there a meeting that's scheduled? Because as far as the diplomatic conversations between the U.S. and Nigeria as they stand now, there's still a lot of ambiguity, despite the fact that President Tinubu says that they're engaging diplomatically. We haven't seen that as the public and as the media. It hasn't been clear to us.
Okay, so later today, one of the congressmen Trump asked to look into the issue, Riley Moore, will introduce a resolution on the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. So what more do we know about this step and the growing opposition from the other U.S. Officials against Trump's military plans?
Right. So, when President Trump first put out that video, he called on two specific Congress people, Representative Riley Moore from West Virginia and Tom Cole from Oklahoma. And Riley Moore is basically putting forward this new resolution that is really just going to affirm America's stance in protecting Christians in Nigeria. This is on top of the bill that Ted Cruz has already put forward as well. And what's interesting about Riley Moore's resolution is that he's really glad that this momentum around this Christian genocide is gaining traction, because in a new interview, he talks about how the U.S. has given, in the last few years, the U.S. has given Nigeria billions of dollars in military assistance and security assistance. And according to him, it just hasn't yielded much. And I actually looked into it as well, because all of these numbers are public. They're all online. And since 2017, approximately $650 million has been given to Nigeria in security assistance from the U.S. and approximately $1.8 billion in foreign military sales. So for him, this is just a moment that, they can actually potentially see where all of that money is going. And then finally, I reached out to a Democratic congressperson who is on the Africa subcommittee. His name is Congressman Jonathan Jackson. And interestingly enough, he completely opposes this move from President Trump. He called it reckless. And in a statement that he sent to me that's now public,
a very, very complex
he says that Christians and Muslims in Nigeria deserve compassion, not exploitation, saying that America should be a partner in healing and not a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm emphasizing this to just show how there's some sort of a diversion, as there usually are in politics in the U.S., between Republicans and Democrats, where a lot of the Republicans are rallying behind President Trump, but when it comes to some of the Democrats, they're against this military intervention, and they're making it known as well.
The truth of the matter is that this is a very complex problem, because there are many factors contributing to it. You can't say that Nigeria Christians are under existential threat. No, almost the whole Nigerian citizens are under existential threat, because those who are not Christians are being persecuted. Those who are Christians are also being persecuted. Like, you don't know where the boundary is anymore, simply because these attackers, they don't care. And the whole thing boils down to the level of the government. The government has already proven that they are already incapable of dealing with these guys. Is it that it's too complex? I don't know. But if the government cannot protect lives and property, which is the major thing that they were elected for, then what is the essence of being the government in power? I don't know. The major issue why there is food shortage in Nigeria up to today is because of these guys. Farmers can no longer go to the farm because of fear. If they go, they have a clash with them or with bandits or with whatever they call themselves. And yet the government cannot do something. And I'm very, very happy for this swift action, because few days that this report has been echoing, almost everybody has been lending their voices. Before, only the citizens were the one raising complaints, crying, seeking for the government help, but nobody cares to answer. Now, a higher authority has already swift into action. And now everybody is running helter-skelter in order to know where will solution come from. Yes, solution should have come from us. Solution could have come from the government, but they didn't move fast.